the iPhone 20, to bid farewell to the aluminum chassis next year. Everyone thinks tougher is better. Apple is chasing prettiness. Leaks point to a rear glass build and a seamless, light-bending look. It'll feel like the future in your palm. It might also shatter like it. Here's what's really brewing. Apple's anniversary launches have a pattern. They don't just add features, they change the vibe. 2017 wasn't about a faster chip. It was about a new identity, a new silhouette, and that shiny glass confidence. Now the rumor mill is pointing at another identity shift. The big claim is simple. The iPhone 20 drops the aluminum chassis and goes for a build that screams next generation. If that's true, it's not a small tweak. It's Apple deciding the outside matters as much as the silicon. The most repeated detail is the rear glass coming back in a serious way. Not a token glass panel. A design where the whole body language leans into glass and curves. That's premium to the eye. That's also brittle in the real world. Glass doesn't dent, it catastrophically fails. This update gets extra spicy because it contradicts earlier chatter. Weibo's fixed-focus digital cameras previously suggested Apple wouldn't move away from aluminum. Now he's back with a fresh line. The new lineup will boast a rear glass design. That's a direct reversal. And reversals are where the best leaks live, because they usually mean the internal plan is still moving. Here's the current baseline. The iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max reportedly stick with an aluminum construction and ceramic shield protection. The expectation is the iPhone 18 Pro Duo won't ditch that approach either. So if Apple really flips the materials on the 20th anniversary model, it's a deliberate milestone move, not a slow evolution. Why would Apple do it? Aesthetics. And not just regular aesthetics. The leaks tie the hardware to the software. The talk is that the exterior will mimic Apple's liquid glass UI. That phrase matters because it hints at a design language where reflections, refractions, and edge glow become the whole point. Tipster Ice Universe goes further. He says the user interface will refract light from the edges, amplifying a look that makes it appear like a seamless design. Read that again. Software that sells the illusion of a single slab of light, with the hardware helping the trick. That's where the quad curve display comes in. Four-sided curvature is the kind of thing companies try when they want you to stop comparing spec sheets and start staring at the object. It's dramatic. It's also a nightmare for durability and repairs because impact forces don't have flat, predictable edges to spread across. So yeah, if this design hits, cases are coming back in a big way. I can already hear the comments. Just don't drop it. Cool. Real life doesn't care. The rear glass panel plus aggressive curvature equals higher risk, and higher risk equals higher repair bills, and Apple's repair pricing history is exactly why this makes people nervous. Even if the glass is tougher than it used to be, brittle is brittle. One bad corner hit can spiderweb the whole back. That's not oops. That's there goes your weekend and your wallet. But Apple also has real reasons to prefer glass beyond looking pretty. Wireless charging performs better when there's less metal in the way. Heat and alignment matter. A glass-heavy rear can make MagSafe style charging more consistent, and it can open the door to faster coils without fighting a metal barrier. Now let's talk about the elephant everyone keeps circling without saying plainly. If Apple drops aluminum, what replaces it? The leak doesn't lock that down. It floats a manufacturing clue instead. The Weibo tipster claims the iPhone 20's manufacturing process will be similar to the iPhone Airs, and that Apple renovated the facility responsible for chassis production. That's an interesting detail because factories don't get renovated for vibes. They get renovated for tooling, different milling, different bonding, different finishing, different tolerances. That hints at a material shift, or at least a structural change. Titanium alloy is the obvious candidate people jump to because Apple already played with it. Titanium sounds expensive. It photographs well. It also has trade-offs. It can be lighter for strength, but it's not magic. Thermal behavior matters when you're pushing cameras, gaming, and on-device AI. Here's the catch. Aluminum is great at shedding heat. That's one reason Apple loves it. The titanium frame can trap heat more than you want, depending on how it's designed and how it interfaces with the internal midplate. So if Apple goes back to a titanium mix, they'll need smarter thermal paths, and that might mean internal changes you don't see in a render. And speaking of renders, Front Page Tech has been pushing gorgeous visuals of this whole idea. Thin borders, curved edges, glass everywhere. I love renders, but I don't worship them. They're best used as a mood board, not a blueprint. Here's my take, loud and clear. Apple wants a 2017 moment again. They want people to recognize the device from across a table. The easiest way to do that is a radically different shell with a light-catching silhouette. The hardest part is making it survivable in pockets, bags, car cup holders, and the inevitable sidewalk drop. Now let's keep our feet on the ground. We're still about 14 months out. Apple changes plans behind closed doors all the time. Features this ambitious slip. They slip a lot. Under display Face ID has been 2 years away for about 5 years. And that's not an accident. It's physics, yield, and the brutal math of mass production. So how do you treat these leaks? Like directional signs, not a destination. When multiple sources start harmonizing around the same theme, like a glassy return and a seamless edge illusion, that's when it gets interesting. When one tipster flips their own story, it means internal testing might be balancing between 2 builds. If even half of this lands though, it's the most dramatic rethink since 2017. That's the headline. Not new camera bump, not slightly faster charging, a full aesthetic pivot that tries to merge UI design with physical materials, and if Apple pulls it off, you'll see the effect everywhere. Competing phones will chase the same illusion. Case makers will sell clear but armored designs like crazy. Repair shops will brace for back glass replacements, and YouTube will be flooded with drop tests within hours. My advice if you're buying soon, don't buy based on a wish. Buy based on what exists. But if you can wait, and you're bored of the current look, this is the first time in a while where waiting might actually pay off, because the leaked direction is bold, risky, and very Apple. Apple seems to be chasing a 20th anniversary wow factor, even if it invites fragility. The loudest leaks point to a rear glass return, a quad curve display, and a seamless, light-bending look tied to the liquid glass UI. The material swap could be the biggest iPhone identity shift since 2017. Drop your guess in the comments right now. Does Apple go for full glass elegance, or do they stick with a tougher metal frame and the futuristic look with software? I'll pin the smartest take. See you in the next one. Goodbye.